How do millennials feel about their food? Well, I'm a millennial, and though I really don't like that label, I understand that people from my generation are generally of a kind, and we do have unique ideas about what the world ought to be. I mean, there's a good chance you've heard talk of the various industries that millennials are killing. We don't like golf, and we don't buy motorcycles or diamonds or even homes, and we don't watch football, and we're apparently very choosy about our food too. I recently attended a conference put on by the Canadian Centre for Food Integrity where attendees were walked through some new research about how certain demographics feel about food production. The point of this research was to determine if the public trusts our current food system and what the food industry can do to increase trust through the entire system. All of these numbers I'm going to give you are based on 1,307 respondents from Canada, and I'll include links in the description to the actual data. Now, first, let's define the pertinent sample groups in this study. Note, this is a Canadian study, and it differs enough from America's numbers that you shouldn't use this to draw North American conclusions. Millennials. Millennials are one set featured in this study. We're the kids following Generation X. This study used 18 to 25-year-olds as early millennials and 26 to 34-year-olds as late millennials. Foodies are another set in this study. These are the people who really take food seriously. Beyond just snapping Instagram photos of their food, we're talking the people who seek out information on ingredients and safety and farming and nutrition and the way to cook the food, all that stuff. And yes, millennials are sometimes foodies, but most of us actually don't care that much. We're never accused of killing McDonald's. Now, moms are another set, and obviously moms can also be millennials and foodies, but a mom has to worry about what's going in their kid's mouth as well as their own, and this kind of takes precedent in defining the group. So according to these sets, is the food system going the right or wrong direction? Overall, 50% of Canadians are unsure, 30% think we're doing okay, and 21% think we're on the wrong track. 41% of millennials say the food system is fine, 47% are unsure about it, and 12% think it's on the wrong track. 38% of moms think we're going the right direction, 46% aren't sure, 16% say no. 51% of foodies think we're doing good, 26% are unsure, 23% say no. Now, focusing in on millennials, for those 41% of us who think we're doing okay, it's due to the fact that we see a well-regulated industry and we see improvement and positive change, and we also see an increase in awareness and available information. For those 12% of millennials who think we're on the wrong track, we see an increase in prices and the overuse of chemicals and pesticides and a lack of inspection and regulation. But 47% of us feel we need more information about the food system to even have an opinion. Now, let me just say, for all the stupid millennial stuff I hate being included in the group for, like avocado toast, I do appreciate this stat. I think it shows that we are a thoughtful bunch generally, and most of us know when we don't have enough info to make an informed opinion, and that's kind of awesome. Also pretty awesome, when you compare our millennial group's distrust of the food system, it's actually better than how moms or foodies feel. Overall, we're more optimistic, but less inclined to actually seek out information. We don't have the passion for food that foodies have or the obligation that mothers have. And we're too content not forming an opinion if we don't have information. So millennials don't have info on food, don't really want info on food, and don't really care that much about where it leaves them. Not to mention that millennials have a lower level of trust in farmers specifically than either moms or foodies do. According to this research, millennials feel there is less transparency on the farm than either moms or foodies. We also see farms as being for-profit first, again, more than moms or foodies. We're also pretty sure that there are questionable practices happening on the farm. Bottom line, millennials are a complicated bunch, and when it comes to our food, we seem to be overall in pretty good spirits about it. And if we aren't in good spirits, it's because we recognize we don't know enough about it. The trouble for me is that kind of feels like good-natured acceptance of ignorance. We aren't going to be pissy about not knowing, but we also aren't going to reach out and take the freely available knowledge. We seem apathetic. This study suggests that we take that apathy for information and direct it towards the farmer. Apparently, we're not really concerned if we're falling victim to stereotyping things we don't understand. I don't like being stereotyped as a millennial. I meet the criteria based on when I was born, but I struggle to see myself as part of this group that's generally seen by other generations as entitled and lacking knowledge and apathetic. It bugs me to get lumped into that group, but at the same time, I kind of like some of the ways our generation responds. Maybe we're too apathetic, but we're also willing to recognize when we don't have all the information and when our opinion just shouldn't be counted. We have an intuitive understanding that not every opinion is equally weighted. Now, this is probably a consequence of our generation having been so extensively gaslit by baby boomers that we have almost no confidence in our own opinions anymore. I mean, no self-respecting baby boomer I know would ever think their opinion shouldn't be counted. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Given this is the world we find ourselves inhabiting, I think the tendency to assume we don't have all the information is actually a virtue. But not caring that we don't know is where it turns sour. As a millennial, I respect our generation's ability to not believe everything we think, but when it comes to determining what we actually should believe, we can do better. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing here, you should know I plan on keeping these videos coming, so you should subscribe to our channel, hit that little bell icon so you can get notified when I release another video, and just stay tuned in general. I appreciate you being part of our audience.